Okay, well, in Spain, besides having a good football team, we make good coaches as well. Okay, just just in case. Well, I will talk now about the vehicles. Okay, I have seen many people today talking about public transport and other issues, and in our case, I'm going to give our opinion, how we feel that the trends are in the coach business, and this will be my presentation about. Okay. Well, first of all, we feel that coaches can compete with trains, of course, including the high-speed trains. For instance, in Spain now there is a huge investment developing a huge high-speed train network, and I remember that well, this started in the 80s. And the first line was from Madrid to Sevilla, which it doesn't make a lot of sense because it's moving from the peninsula to the south. And we are in the north, and we feel that first connection should be in Europe. So I remember that our customers, the operators, were very concerned because it's direct competition to them, and they were afraid of losing the business. But after so many years, they found out that the coaches can compete with high-speed trains, and even considering that the trains are subsidized because, well, the investments are huge and the tickets are very, very cheap. But, well, time has proven that it's possible to compete with high-speed trains, and in many cases, they are complementary because the high-speed trains they have very few stations where they stop, and the coaches can bring people to these few stations where high-speed trains stop. Okay, so it's possible to compete, and as well they can compete with planes in not very long routes. We feel that until around 500 kilometers, more or less, the coaches can compete as well with planes. Okay, from a point of view, common transportation, the target is to provide the citizens the possibility to move to different places on a safe, comfortable, and cost-efficient way. Okay, and it's in the hand of the public authorities to define the requirements to these lines. And as we consider ourselves a premium coach manufacturers, our feeling is that our customers, the operators, should look for excellence in these lines. Well, and what can we offer to the operators? Okay, we can offer an unique product. Okay, an unique product. We have a full range of different vehicles depending on the application. As well, we could offer city buses, but here we are focused in coaches. In Estonia, as it was mentioned, we have plenty of Irizar vehicles, and although I have seen some pictures of city buses, and well, the evolution in design was not dramatic. Our feeling is that in the coaches there was a dramatic evolution on design, and coaches are nowadays very desirable. Well, besides offering a good product, of course, we must offer a very good after-sales service, because the coaches, we must be realistic, have always there are always issues. There are accidents, there are as well technical issues, so we must provide as well the right after-sales service to the operators, so the coaches are always running, and in case there is an issue, we must be as well prepared to solve those problems when that coach is not operating, which usually is during the evening. And as well, as part of the pack, there is the financing and repair and maintenance in many cases that it's required and it's becoming more and more important. Well, from a point of view, competition is good because when these concessions are given to only one operator, that becomes a monopoly. For instance, in Spain now, they are renewing the concessions, and if a concession for one operator is for 10 years, in some cases, let's say that the quality that these operators provide to the passengers is not the best. So, in some cases, concessions can be given to more than one operator, maybe two. But the authorities as well must be careful because clearly there must be profit for the operators. I remember when I was at the university that we had one teacher that told us, and it's true, that the first target of every company is to have profit. Okay? If there is no profit, there is no future for this company. So as well, for our customers, to the operators, when they operate a line, there must be a profit. Well, and another very important thing, and in some cases, when we start reading the documents that are provided in a tender, we feel that in many cases, the authorities, they don't have updated information. So the requirements that are in the tender, they took maybe the information from a tender 5-10 years ago, they are not updated, and automatically that means that the coaches, the manufacturers that are going to participate in that tender are not going to offer the latest products and latest items available. So it's very important that, these authorities are very well informed about what is available in the market. And finally, of course, there must be a cost and quality considered in the service when the tender is granted, because as well, in these concessions, in these tenders, in many cases, the only important thing is to be the cheapest. And on the long term, sometimes when it's too cheap, it becomes expensive. We have seen in some tenders, and I'm going to use two examples. One is in Casablanca in Morocco, and the other one in Malta, that the authorities granted, well, in this case, they were Chinese manufacturers, and after 3 or 4 years of operation, they just had to cancel the tender and require European products for those tenders because they had huge headaches with these, Chinese-made products, okay? So what it was cheap at the beginning, on the long term, it became very, very expensive. Well, from our point of view as well, what is very important when we manufacture the coaches is that, first of all, the coaches comply with the maximum safety standards. And once again, this is in the hands of the authorities to require to comply with new regulations. The 66.01 stands for the rollover, which it's not mandatory yet in the European Union, but all our range complies. R14 stands for the seats and the anchorage, and so on. So that is very, very important, that the coaches are very safe. On the other hand as well, the accessibility for disabled people is very important, and that it's a must. Of course, we must require with the European Union regulations because we are in Europe, but if we are selling in the States, we should comply with the DOT, and in Russia with the Russian regulations, and so on. And about the coaches, well, one of the strengths that we have at Irizar is our flexibility, the possibilities that we have to customize the vehicles to the requirements of the operators, and it's in the hands of the operators to offer, well, different levels of comfort with different levels of price. Like in the planes, you can travel from business to economy, and that it's available, of course, in coaches as well. In in the hands of the operators as well to keep the vehicles in the best conditions, clean, attractive, so everyone is willing to use public transport. And of course that in the case of coaches, they are not very old. We must take into account that line operators can make in 3 years 1 million kilometers, from 3 to 5 years 1 million kilometers, and that is, well, when many line operators replace their vehicles, and they always keep the vehicles in these important lines, well, not more than 5 years. Another very important thing, the drivers. We've been talking about the coaches, but the drivers in all this story are very, very important. The drivers must be very well trained to get, let's say, the lowest fuel consumption, to provide the best comfort to the passengers, and because they are the key person in a coach, okay? The driver. And from what we do as manufacturers is try to make the driver's life as easy as possible, not to fit too many buttons, because drivers love touching all the buttons, so we remove everything that we can. And if I'm sure that here there are quite many drivers of buses and coaches, they are very easy to drive, like a big car, okay? And not everything is automatic, but gear, you don't have any more clutch pedals, and they are becoming easier and easier to drive. And finally, of course, the coaches should be environmentally friendly, okay? That is another important item. Well, some pictures about when we designed the coaches. I was talking about that we must make them safe, and there is a huge investment in making coaches safer. Here on the left, for instance, you have a sample of, in a front collision, how the structure would look before making several improvements on the right, and you can see that the deformation on the first row and for the driver on the right, it's much better. Okay, there is a lot of research, a lot of testing in getting to improve the structure. Okay, so besides making, let's say, good-looking coaches, they must be prepared against impact. In this case, well, it's a different impact. So once again, on the left, without the improvement, and on the right, after all this deep analysis and the improvements. And when there is an accident against a car, besides protecting the passengers and the driver of the coach, we must as well protect the passengers and the driver of the car, okay? And that is as well something that we take into account when we designed our coaches. Accessibility. I was mentioning how flexible ETDs are when, let's say, giving solutions to our operators. All these different solutions are for different operators. When they tell us that they want the wheelchair lift on the wheelbase, like on the first picture on the left, you can see that we can provide it. On the right side, it's a similar solution. On the other picture, you can see that it's integrated in the central door. And even, this example is good because in the UK, well, the Organization of Disabled People, they said that they had the same category of as the rest of the passengers of the vehicle, and that they must go in the coach from the same door as the rest of the passengers. So we had to develop this specifically, well, wheelchair lift integrated in the front door, which, as you can imagine, it was not easy. That is called a magic floor, because the disabled people can go from the wheelchair to the main aisle of the coach by himself. Okay, so this is a specific solution for the UK, but of course available to any operator in Europe, because it's homologated. And same thing applies to the seats. As you can see, we can offer, well, that once the wheelchair is in the coach, that you don't need to remove the seats because they can be slide. So this is our flexibility. Well, about the future coaches, I mentioned safety and comfort for the passengers, of course, reliability, service and profitability to the operators. That is what we are offering to them, and of course, as Irizar, always as well offering innovation, and that is why we are investing a lot on different systems, like what we call active safety, which is adaptive cruise control. We have forward collisioning warning, we have line departure warning, driver fatigue detector, tire pressure and temperature monitoring system, LED headlight technology, xenon. All these are already available, and if the operators are willing to fit them, we can do it, and part of them will become mandatory in the European Union very soon. Concerning the fuel efficiency, that is one of the highest operational costs for the operators, and that is why for us, it's very important to design our vehicles with the best aerodynamics and with the lowest possible weight. Okay, comfort for the passengers, so the climate systems, the seats, the access must be well, the best, and of course, once again, with the best looking design. Well, about climate systems, these pictures are interesting, but before we launch a vehicle, as we are selling in 90 different countries, well, we have the possibility to test our vehicles in the different weather conditions. You can see the picture on the right. That could be Estonia. It's minus 37. That is the temperature. And every year we take our vehicles to Lapland to test that the heating system and the isolation of the vehicle is ideal. And on the left, that is the desert of Mexicali in Mexico. And the temperature, I cannot show you a picture, but there it's plus 51. Okay, so it's a little bit hot, as you can imagine. And that is where we test our cooling systems. And this is a picture with a special camera just to check if the mister is providing the right heating to the windshield, okay? Because that is part of the safety as well. Well, about active safety, here you can see different cameras. There is one camera pointing to the eyes of the driver, and we call that system Magic Eye. And that camera can detect if the driver is going to fall to sleep. There is a specific software, it can read even through sunglasses, and if he is going to fall to sleep, the seat can vibrate, or even there can be as well a light in the dash, and even all this information can be transmitted online to the operator, okay? So he could even phone the driver. So all these systems are already available, and they are developed by Irizar. Well, in our case, as I mentioned, we provide different levels of comfort. After I'll show you some pictures, but the seats are very, very important for the passengers. So we design them to make them as comfortable and as attractive as possible. The noise level is very important. Climate system that I mentioned, and after the entertainment systems, nowadays you have available so many possibilities. We can fit Wi-Fi, of course, we can fit even satellite television, we can provide individual screens in every seat, so all those systems are available, like in the planes. And about repair and maintenance cost, in order to minimize them, well, we have all the information available through internet about drawings and technical information. We have as well a diagnostic tool, even remote diagnostic through a SIM card that a coach can be operating, imagine, in Moscow, and from here we could find out what's wrong, and in some cases we could even repair it. And of course, we have an European after-sales network. and we have as well the possibility of offering a fleet management system. Well, some pictures of coaches. Here, well, part of these pictures, they are from Motor Group vehicles, as you probably noticed, okay? Well, in this case, the 4 of them. And you can see that these vehicles are very attractive. We can have 2+2, 2+1, even 1+1 seat layouts. Well, this on the right, this is a toilet for the Sheikh of Dubai. And that is real gold, what you see in there. And this, just I fitted these pictures so you can see that we can fit anything in a coach, okay? And of course, this toilet was for the Sheikh and the rest of the passengers had another toilet. On the left, that is a coach as well that is for the police department of Dubai. It's a little bit different, as you can see, on that green color. The other one belongs to Lux Express. Okay. Some pictures as well, you can see, well, how luxurious can be the interior. That flag of Australia is because this is the Orica Green Age bus. If you are familiar with cycling, last year in the Tour de France, there was one Irizar coach stock in the arrival, and this was that particular coach. Okay, we can fit faxes as well. About the trends for the future, well, there is already a significant electronic content increase. All these entertainment systems, fleet management systems, and so on. That means that the hardware in the coaches is increasing, and the same with the software. Okay, that is something that is already happening. So important to consider. Integration of the systems. MMI is, well, these screens that you have seen already in the cars that you can control all the items of the vehicle from these screens. Internet connected vehicles, of course, lower emissions, and more friendly for drivers, passengers, operators, and after sales. Okay, we are ready. We have our own research and development center, which is Creatio. And, well, we feel that Irizar is the right choice for these operators that are looking for excellence, for the best. And that I think that Motor Group, Lux Express, it's a good benchmark to others. Here you can see on the left, that would be the MMI, the screen that you can control all the vehicle. And you can see that this is, well, very similar to a car. As I was mentioning before, there are not so many buttons to press. Here you can see the same, the MMI, that is a Wi-Fi picture, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. It was really impressive. So tell us honestly, how did you manage to penetrate into Estonian market? What did you do for that?
Well, convince Hugo and his team that Irizar was the right choice. I think what it makes us different, they say that we listen to the operators. So I think that, well, before Irizar, Motor Group tested other products, and well, we started slowly, trying to convince them, and well, nowadays it's one of our most loyal customers. And of course, when there are issues, because there are always issues, we are there to solve them. And when we are going to develop something new, of course, they are informed. So I think that what we use to convince people, it's, well, we show them the product, they can test it, we take them to the factory, and after it's their decision.
Yeah, it's so easy, I understand. But still, what was the most decisive selling point?
Well, maybe you should ask Hugo, but I think is that Irizar is a desirable vehicle, probably. So the passengers, they are willing to travel in an Irizar. I think that is probably one of the main reasons, that when an Irizar arrives to the bus station, the people are willing to go into that vehicle. Did I answer the question?
Okay. How important is the fact that Irizar is owned by its employees? Does it make the doing business a little bit unique in comparison to other types of companies?
Well, as part of Irizar, an employee and a shareholder, I can say that, we are 730 shareholders, okay? Although worldwide there are 3,200 workers that belong to Irizar Group. So I don't know if for our customers that makes a difference or not, but for us the difference is that as we are the owners of the company, we always do our best to satisfy our customers, and I think that when you see that if we do things properly, part of the profit it comes back to us. If we don't do it right, there are losses, and part of those losses as well are shared among us. So I think it's a good thing to be a cooperative, and to some of our customers that is good.
Actually, what we should have started with was, if we rate the world's best coaches making companies, are you the number 1, number 2, number 20, number 30?
We are humble. We are not, I don't think, being number 1 or number 2, I think being realistic in Europe, I can mention competition. Setra is the most expensive and probably recognized as a very good product, but that is in terms of quality. They are the most expensive, of course, as well. But if you talk about flexibility, try to convince Setra to fit the wheelchair lift in any place, and probably you already know the answer. What they will tell you that there is only one place. So I think in terms of flexibility, you have seen how we can customize the vehicles. So maybe in that area we are number 1, but depends on what are you measuring. But I think we can be considered as a premium manufacturer and worldwide one of the best. But in that top league, maybe we are talking about 6-7 manufacturers, maybe.
Saalist mõned küsimused. I don't know if you need a translation tool. Kas küsimus tuleb inglise keelest?
He speaks English.
Okay, you know already. You fixed the question beforehand.
Hello, Godson. No, we didn't fix the question. You tried to speculate why we chose Irizar. I think that actually it's probably 20 small reasons, but if I have to choose one, then it's probably its design that it started from. But my question is that you can see the evaluation of the public transport vehicles and coaches. 5-6 years ago, the big thing was the internet in the buses that started to move along. Then 3 years ago, it was the screens that appeared in the buses, and everybody was showing the buses with screens and etc. What do you think is the next big thing that impacts the passenger? Because all those different codes and systems and whatever, they are important for safety, they are important maybe for operator, but what is, in your opinion, the next thing that is really going to hit the customer, the passenger on board?
Well, on board, what we have seen is that, and this comes from the States, because we have started selling in the States, there are entertainment systems that there is Wi-Fi, and all the contents are in the net, and the passengers, they can, for instance, if they want to watch a movie, they can connect themselves with their own smartphone or tablet or whatever, or even for these passengers that they don't have a tablet, the operator can rent a tablet to them, and imagine they can start watching a movie. They are moving from New York to New Jersey, they start watching a movie, they arrive to the stop, they leave the coach and everything, and after, 1 week later, when they are traveling in another coach from the same operator, they can continue watching the movie at the same place where they were watching the movie. This is already available. And the answer to your question is that in terms of entertainment, well, new possibilities are coming, but all of them are through internet, so that requires very good connectivity, 4G, probably 4G nets, and after, who knows? That is the latest I have here. But of course, when we travel, first thing, well, besides safety, is that the coaches are clean, they are on time, and so on. Because I think that coming here, I came by plane, and the 2 flights were delayed. And that, for instance, is terrible, because if you miss your connection, after it can be a mess. So those things are important, because still there are problems with that. Okay, so entertainment is very important, but the rest as well. So, but answering to your question about entertainment, that would be the answer. That is the latest I have seen in technologies.